Now, if there is one picture you take away from this forum, this should be it. This is the history of the Trump meme coin. You could make it a case history in business schools. Pump and dump, front running, bait and switch, classic, fraud. That's when it began, at the beginning of the Trump administration, when it was hyped by the President of the United States, and then dropped precipitously. The President had a gala to try to hype it back. It worked a little bit for a little while, and then the slide continued to today, when it's worth a pitiful, pathetic fraction of its initial amount. Trump's profits had victims. Corruption has costs. And the consequences to these individuals were lost retirement accounts, sacrificed savings, houses in foreclosure, losses that changed their lives. $3.8 billion. That's right, $3.8 billion, so that he could profit from the meme coin alone, $636 million. These numbers are so gargantuan that they're almost meaningless to the average American. $1.4 billion is what his total profits were from crypto, and 636 million of it as a result of the pump and dump scheme on his meme coin. His total income last year, $2 billion. It's beyond words for most Americans, beyond comprehension. But it was no accident. And it certainly was no great vision of economic contribution. It was simply self-enrichment. It had victims. It had costs for everyday Americans. President Trump, who famously once called Bitcoin a scam, has not only used it to enrich himself, he's sold out the American people, he's enriched his family, his sons, his insider friends, his campaign donors, and some of them, for example, Steve Witkoff, is also in the national news and in positions of responsibility. Days before his second inauguration, one UAE company paid $500 million for a 49% stake in his other firm, World Liberty Financial. And soon after, another UAE company, all of them linked to the ruling family and the major wealth fund, purchased $2 billion of its so-called stablecoin. As a result of all this personal success, the President is now fiercely committed to protecting the crypto industry. This kind of exploitation took advantage of weaknesses in the current law. The President is taking a strong stand against reforms that would eliminate the weaknesses and loopholes that he exploited and others are doing right now to perpetrate the same kind of fraud on the same kind of innocent victims across the United States. Many of his friends and family, high-level officials in his administration, and others he is protecting are profiting while the rest of America is less stable and less secure than we were before. The President has shaped his administration in his own image. Bo Hines, who is a former official in the White House, went to work for an organization called Tether, linked to Howard Lutnick, Secretary of Commerce, and involved in these crypto ventures. Just two examples that illustrate and prove the point that we are making here, that there needs to be fundamental, far-reaching, penetrating reform, not the Clarity Act. President Trump's personal grift is resonating across the world. Scams and frauds are growing, driven in large part by the ease of laundering stolen funds through cryptocurrency. We need to make sure that any regulations can be vigorously enforced. The Clarity Act, for example, takes away authority of state attorneys general. Having been one, I know personally, and we're seeing right now how attorneys general are filling the breach that's left by a Department of Justice that has become Trump's personal law firm. The Clarity Act would depend on the Department of Justice to do enforcement, which would make protections essentially dead letter. It would expose the financial future of millions of Americans to unacceptable volatility and risk while giving crypto billionaires a free pass to the basic consumer protections that banks and other financial institutions are required to follow. There's a model here. Banks, security companies, they're required by law to follow certain safeguards and guardrails. Right now, the effort by the crypto industry is to get a free pass. Earlier today, we received written testimony from New York Attorney General Letitia James, and she writes, quote, "Clarity seeks to interfere with and preempt states' investor protection laws as well as dilute our ability to prosecute fraud. This is a mistake. Preemption, no enforcement, smokescreen, guardrails." And I'm unable to enter this testimony into the congressional record at this time, but I'm going to post it on our website. I want to thank Attorney General James for her submission, and I want to thank all the witnesses who are here today, my colleagues who are going to be joining us later today. Senator Durbin is here now, and I want to turn it over now to my partner in this effort, Senator Van Hollen.